Good afternoon, everyone. You're very welcome along to the channel. So this is Winning Formula. And so we're a YouTube channel where we mostly do watch-alongs for Formula One and Formula E. And the whole point of this, of course, is that we're a fan channel and we want to interact with each other and, of course, talk about the events, the main happenings, the politics, the behind the scenes, everything else that's happening as a part of these races and to do with these races. Of course, very important to point out, this is not where we will be streaming the race. We can't stream the race. We won't last very long if we do that. So it is a watch along. So we watch the race along with you and comment based on that. So we have a very interesting grid coming up. Of course, we have Bottas starting in first place, Hamilton second, and Verstappen third. Firstly, let's have a look back at the results from the previous round of the championship. So this was the Imola Grand Prix, Italy 2021. Verstappen was the winner in the end there. He had quite a comfortable win, as it turned out. Hamilton managed to come second. He had a lot of luck there, so he was really helped out by his teammate. He had a coming together with George Russell. It was, unfortunately, George Russell's fault, I would say. Bottas, of course, and I will stick by this, should not have been down in 9th or 10th place or whichever position he was in when that incident happened. So that, of course, is very unfortunate that it happened. It brought out the red flag, the race was stopped, all of that kind of jazz. And as a result, Hamilton managed to get back the lap that he had lost when he ran off track, actually a lap earlier, I think it was, and lost quite a bit of time trying to engage reverse. And it wasn't until the safety car came out that he could appropriately engage that. And then, of course, there was the red flag that came for the collision between Bottas and Russell. So as a result of that, he was able to battle his way back up through the field. I think he started in 8th place for the restart. Of course, there was no huge gaps because the field were all backed up onto each other because of the restart. And so Hamilton picked them off one by one. Eventually, he came to Norris. Norris put up a good battle, but of course, the McLaren just isn't as fast as the Mercedes. And so it was quite easy picking for him in the end. Norris did as much as he could, going over the top with his battle, and that was the right thing to do because he didn't have the speed. So in saying that, Hamilton finished in second, but he did finish quite a bit behind Verstappen. Especially, you can see here, there was a gap of 22 seconds behind them in the end. Now, what's interesting about this top 10 classification from the last round, of course, is that Fernando Alonso is classified in 10th, Esteban Ocon in 9th. Originally, Ocon had come 10th because Raikkonen featured. I think Raikkonen ended up coming 8th. Lance Stroll also took a penalty and dropped him down a little bit from 7 to 8, I believe. But Raikkonen had a penalty, and they're actually appealing that at the moment. I know there was a hearing for that this morning. I hadn't actually heard if there was any outcome of that, so this may have changed yet again. One of the arguments that the FIA used was that there was that there was precedence for something like this happening before, but actually, when Alfa Romeo looked into this, they couldn't find any precedence, and as a result, they feel like they have a very valid reason for an appeal. So that's ongoing at the moment, and so that may actually get over. Just having a very quick look here at the Twitter feed for Formula One. I don't see anything on there yet, so maybe there hasn't been a decision on that just yet. Very difficult to know how that will turn out and if it gets overturned. Okay. So that was the race classification going all the way down to last. As you can see, Nikita Mazepin gets classified in last, Mick Schumacher in second last. It's been a challenging season so far for the Haas team. What has been fascinating for me has been looking at the gap between Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. Mazepin, I would have always classified him as a fairly fast and strong driver in Formula 2. He had some very good results. Of course, dangerous isn't the correct word, but he was one of those drivers that you wouldn't really want to go up against. Let's put it that way. But anyhow, right. So here's how the championship standing looks at the moment. Lewis Hamilton leads the championship by 1 single point. Max Verstappen, of course, in second place, and you can see there Lewis Hamilton came first in the first race, and Max Verstappen came first in the second race, and consistent results there from Lando Norris, fourth and third. And as you look down the field, I don't think there are too many surprises there. I suppose the one thing that people are really focusing in on right now is the fact that Daniel Ricciardo is so far away from his teammate at the moment. Sergio Perez as well needs to do better. He did not have a good race last time out. He is starting today, of course, in fourth place. And I can see that the formation lap has just started now in the Portuguese Grand Prix. Constructors' points as we go into this race, Mercedes very much on top with 60 points and Red Bull 7 points behind with 53 points. So let's see what they can do about that, and if they can close that gap, or if Mercedes indeed will widen. And the way it looks at the moment with Mercedes starting 1-2, yeah, it's advantage to them. Qualifying results. So yesterday in the qualifying, we saw Valtteri Bottas put in a very good lap to claim pole position, 7/10,000ths of a second faster than Lewis Hamilton. Amazing stuff. So tight there between both of the Mercs. Could have done better. As you can see, he's almost 0.4 of a second behind. He actually did set the fastest time, which was later written off because he exceeded the track limits. In a very strange situation, actually, he didn't gain an advantage from going off the track at that point, but it was deemed to be against the rules, and as a result, that was how it turned out. Just looking down, as I said, Sergio Perez will be starting in fourth place. Carlos Sainz will be starting in fifth. And let's have a very quick look then at the starting grid. Of course, Bottas was on pole position yesterday, celebrating there with his little tire that he signed. I like that. And yeah, the Formula One official feed, pole position for Valtteri Bottas. So nice. So here's the starting grid as we see it at the moment, all 20 drivers on there, and they're actually just coming around onto the grid as we speak right now at this very moment in time. So we have, of course, Bottas leading away from Hamilton. Hamilton is starting on the dirty side of the grid. That will be challenging for him. Verstappen, I guess, by not coming second, has the advantage of being on the cleaner side of the grid in third place. So that could make the start very interesting. Bottas will be starting in fourth. Sainz, a great qualifying for him, out-qualifying his teammates in fifth place. We have Ocon in sixth, Norris seventh, Leclerc in eighth. He'll be disappointed with that. Gasly starts in ninth for the AlphaTauri, and Vettel has the season best qualifying in 10th place, and he has been strong in the qualifying sessions so far. George Russell, look at that, 11th place. That is a good qualifying session for him. So, yeah, we're all very hopeful that he can do something here. Now, we're just about to get into the racing here. Green flag. All the red lights, they're out. Off we go. Both Mercs have a great start. Perez, not a good start from Perez. Bottas is in the lead, so he's ahead of Hamilton here. Verstappen now is right up behind. He's challenging. And Sainz has taken fourth place. It looks like, yeah, Perez is battling away with Sainz here. Perez has managed to stay ahead of Norris at least, and he's still battling with Sainz. Who's this? Ocon. Ocon is coming down the inside of Norris. Norris has gone off the track, but he's come back on. He's kept his place. And it looks like there have been no major incidents so far. So this is going well for everyone. Norris Ocon battling here again. Lando is back past Ocon, so he's back up into sixth place. Let's have a look at the gaps now between Bottas and Hamilton, Verstappen, first, second, third. no major gaps building up here that I can see. Ocon has great speed. He's involved. Although in saying that, it looks like Leclerc now has ideas about getting past Ocon. So Leclerc is making a move here. Is he? No, no, somebody's crashed. It's Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi Raikkonen. We see the front wing flying up into the air there. I have no idea what happened there. He must have made contact with somebody. He's off the track. He can't get the car turned because the front wing is wedged underneath the front of the car. This is not good for Kimi. Will he be able to make it back to the pits? Something we have a safety car, so there's something else going on. It must be Raikkonen's location on the track that has brought out the safety car. So they're coming through the pit lane. So there is debris on the start-finish straight because of his front wing, Raikkonen's front wing. Yeah, he surely has touched somebody. So Bottas leads the race at the moment. All right, on board here with Raikkonen. He's running to the back of his teammate. That is his teammate he's run into the back of. Oh, not good to run into your teammate. Not good at all. The safety car is waiting at the first corner on the start-finish straight to collect the cars as they come out of the pit. So they're all coming through the pit. I'm not actually seeing any debris on the track at the moment, so maybe they've cleared that. So if that's the case, we could be getting underway fairly fast again. Of course, we have no idea if they've removed that Alfa Romeo, though that's still in the gravel trap, as far as I'm aware. Giovinazzi looks to be okay. I was a little worried that he would have a puncture there on his back tire as well from the race on the first lap, and he is not happy with that. And now they're showing us some replays of the race start here. Hamilton had a great start considering he was on the dirty side of the grid, and so he just placed the car in the perfect location right in the center of the track going into the first corner where Verstappen couldn't do anything about it. Perez had a very sluggish start, and Sainz has managed to get past him. It looked at one point like Norris was also going to get past there, but Norris has his own struggles with Ocon at that moment in time because Norris ran a little bit wide. So Ocon goes past then. Norris runs off the track. He's still his front is in close proximity to the back tire of Ocon. Ocon pulls away a little bit at this point in time. And then, as we've seen later on, Norris gets the pass done on Ocon. On board here with Sergio Perez, yeah, he just gets a little bit bogged down. It's not a good start. Look at the look at how close he comes to Carlos Sainz. Sainz runs wide off the track just to avoid any contact there. So I think that's all fine and fair, and I don't think we can say that Sainz got any unfair advantage in doing that. Actually, Sainz completely loses the front of the car there, and he has to oversteer off the track, but he's able to keep the foot down. On board here with Daniel Ricciardo in 11th now. Lots of cars there. Lots of cars ran wide on the first corner. Oh, and that is Tsunoda in front of him, I think, who locked it up. Yes. And there we have Raikkonen running into the back of Giovinazzi, and we just saw we were looking at a far away angle of this, and the front wing flies up into the air. Half of the front wing flies up into the air. The other half ends up wedged under, and he can't turn as a result. So that is not what you want. Okay, so they're at the moment they're lifting that Alfa Romeo out of the way, so it hasn't been cleared yet, and they've just now dislodged the front wing from underneath of Raikkonen's car. Bad start for Raikkonen. So we're still under safety car conditions here. Let's run through the top 10. So Vettel stays in 10th, Gasly stays in 9th, Leclerc stays in 8th, Ocon stays in 7th, Norris stays in 6th, Perez is down, Sainz is up to 4th, Verstappen stays in 3rd, Hamilton stays in 2nd, and Bottas stays in 1st place. So not dramatic changes, although they were let's say intermingling positions before the safety car came out. Interestingly, there as well, just to see that Sainz, Norris, Ocon, Gasly, and Vettel are all on the soft tire, and Stroll at the very back of the field, and well, very back. He's in 16th, is also on the soft tire. Schumacher is running 18th. Mazepin is running now in 19th, which is place. So I'm watching this on Sky Go. I think it's called Sky Go. At the moment, it's basically the portable version of Sky, and so listening to the Sky commentary team at the moment, and Ted has convinced himself that Sainz is going to have a go at Verstappen. Of course, Verstappen not on the soft tire, while Sainz will be pitting earlier, he would expect, assuming nobody has any issues. But yeah, it's a little bit of a variable to throw into the mix. And so it looks like Leclerc on the soft tires? I think he was on the soft tires as well. Still behind the safety car. I'm fascinated by this. So Bottas is right up alongside the safety car, and then he's quite a gap back to Hamilton. They seem to have closed that in now. Of course, all the drivers trying out different strategies to keep the heat in the tires. Still behind the safety car then, and no rationale as to why we're not getting back started yet. Bottas gets the fastest lap, Hamilton gets the fastest lap, Verstappen, Sainz, Perez, and now Norris gets the fastest lap. Of course, this I would expect will be massively beaten, considering we're tire warming behind the safety car at the moment. So the safety car is ending this lap. Finally, we're going to get back underway racing again. Oh, all right. 6 laps out of 66 gone. Not too much action just yet, but it's still early in the race. And of course, you don't expect too much to happen behind the safety car. Thankfully, nobody has binned it into the wall this time. Not too many because there are big runoff areas and gravel pits, but nobody has lost it and gone off the track, at least behind the safety car, in an attempt to keep the tires warm. Let's see what Hamilton has up his sleeve for this restart. Bottas, of course, can dictate this. Bottas caused that huge and that horrible pileup last year at, was it the Tuscan or was it Imola? It was one of the Italian races. He took a lot of criticism for that, but he was adamant in that he had done nothing wrong. So we are racing again. And they're off. And it looks like Verstappen is trying to get the jump here on Hamilton. Oh, look at that. Hamilton is taking the alternative approach. Oh, Verstappen has the outside of the corner. It looks like Verstappen is through into second place. A great move from Verstappen. And Leclerc has had an instant. No, he hasn't. It's an issue with the computer. He's back up again. But Sainz has dropped down now. And that looks like it's Norris has gotten past Ocon. It's all happening now. Not much happened in the official restart, but it's all happening here on the restart at the moment. Ocon is past Leclerc. Sainz is now in sixth place. Perez is in fifth. Leclerc now is back past Ocon. Verstappen is into second place, though. This is the late news. He is he's 0.955 behind Bottas, so he's just inside DRS at the moment. Of course, DRS hasn't been activated yet, but he will want to stay within that second DRS. Of course, Hamilton has 0.7 of a second up to Verstappen, so he would also be in his DRS, so it could be a DRS train there. Fastest lap then for Bottas. We come around, and nobody else seems to be setting a fastest lap just yet. Alonso looking interested there on Giovinazzi. Norris is up into fourth. Fantastic for him. Perez has over a second gap now to Norris, so Perez isn't racing him at the moment. There's George Russell. Where is George Russell netted out after all of this? He's in 15th. He started in 11th, so not good for him. Vettel is still in 10th place. Beautiful move here from Verstappen, showing the onboard now. He got his foot down just the right time, and he had that slight momentum. Hamilton cut across the front of him to try and put him off. Of course, he's only allowed to make one such move like that. It wasn't enough. Verstappen kept his foot down, ran it a bit wide. The car got a little bit wiggly, but he kept control of it, and he's in second place. Lovely move there. So Bottas leads, and there's Norris overtaking Perez. Now 0.7 between Verstappen and Bottas. DRS is enabled as well, and I can already see some DRS wings open. So Verstappen was open there, and Hamilton was also open because, of course, he is a further 0.7 back from Verstappen. So they're all okay. Bottas clearly has the clear air there, but Verstappen and Bottas running in close proximity at the moment. But this Mercedes is not great in dirty air, so We'll see how this goes. Hamilton needs to get a move done quickly. Now, Hamilton, of course, has two cars to overtake. I'm sure Mercedes will have no problem in making the call for him to go into the lead if they absolutely must do that. And if they do, at what point will they do that? Verstappen is much faster. He's about 4 or 5 tenths of a second faster now than Hamilton in the middle sector. So that seems to be the good one for Red Bull. Now we're on board with Verstappen. He's in the slipstream of Bottas. DRS is open, I assume. Can't see from this angle, but have to assume it is. Is he making the move? Oh, it looked like he was going to make the move. He certainly he pulled over to the right hand side, and he let Bottas know that he was there. That's for sure. So Bottas will need to remain cool under pressure here, because Verstappen wants to get this move done. The sooner the better, so that he can have some clean air and not have to run into in the dirty air of the car in front. He's certainly looks much more interested in getting past Bottas rather than Hamilton does on Verstappen. But Hamilton has all the experience. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if Hamilton just waits until Verstappen makes some kind of mistake and capitalizes on that. But in saying that, I think Bottas is the most likely to make a mistake out of these three. And there you go. I've jinxed it. Nothing bad has happened just yet, but let's keep an eye on this one. Norris now is 5 seconds down. Perez 6 seconds down. Sainz and Leclerc, there's just over a second in between them, so there isn't DRS in play there. Ocon now has settled into 8. Gasly's in 9th, and Vettel in 10th place. And we can see the big loser at the moment looks like it is. Oh! Hamilton has gone past Verstappen, so he's used DRS very, very well. And the Verstappen is trying around the outside now to get past. No, he won't be able to do that. The door has been closed for him. I don't know what happened to Verstappen there. He must have been caught dozing, because he was on the previous lap. He was all over the back of Bottas. And suddenly, out of nowhere, and I said it myself, I said it doesn't look like he's interested in overtaking Verstappen at the moment. But no, Hamilton saw his opportunity. What happened? Yeah, we're on board here with the overtake again. So, it was a slam dunk with DRS. Max ran very much to the right, forced Hamilton to go into the dirt there, but it didn't hinder his overtake, and he was able to get that done. Of course, Hamilton had the inside line, so provided he got it stopped in time into the corner, there was no issue there. And of course, Max then on the third turn tried to take that around the outside. Didn't work out. Didn't work out for him. And Bottas, Hamilton is coming. Look at this. Verstappen has fallen away there. Not in DRS range with Hamilton at all. Hamilton now has the fastest lap as well. So certainly advantage to the Mercs. Verstappen on the radio as well there a minute ago, just saying that he was a sitting duck on the straight. I really thought he must have made a mistake at somewhere on the track to allow Hamilton to get so close to him, but clearly he didn't have DRS. Hamilton did have DRS, and that made all the difference. Of course, I think we have 2 DRS zones on this track. Hamilton 7/10 now behind Bottas. We're coming back around for the start-finish straight. DRS open. He's not quite in a position to do a move yet, but he did the same thing Verstappen did. He made Bottas well aware that he's there, and it was all over his mirrors. Five tenths in it now. Much closer this time for Hamilton. I think this as long as he can keep it this close coming into the start finish straight, this is his chance. Yuki Tsunoda getting warned about the track limits. from the FIA and from his team. So he's in last chance saloon there. It's 8/10 now. 9/10. Oh, we'll see if Hamilton even has DRS as we come to the start finish here. Hamilton has 1.2 seconds on Verstappen, so there won't be an issue. Yeah, Hamilton is going to have DRS here. So DRS is open. We're on board with Hamilton now. How close can he get? Oh, not close enough. Not close enough. If he could get back within that 5/10 that he was at stage during the last lap, then I think he has a great shot at this. So yeah, quite a good composed race so far from Bottas. 14 laps in, and he's leading the race. It's really seems to be the midfield here where Hamilton gains on Bottas the most, and he was just throwing a few shapes in his mirror there. So yeah, pressuring Bottas, letting him know that he's there. He's not on the radio just yet that we're aware of, telling the team to let him through, which is good because you like to see these things won on the track as opposed to through team orders. They're just showing us Norris here. Norris now has, he has about a 1 second gap between himself and Perez. Perez really needs to get past Norris. You know, he needs to be the rear gunner here for Verstappen. Norris, of course, is on the soft tire, so he will be pitting earlier. Now, a very interesting thing about the tires. So apparently, Mercedes have no hard tires left for this race. I don't know if they can reuse some, maybe. Here's Hamilton again, which is DRS open. No, he can't get it done again. So Bottas is doing just enough. And of course, the dirty air seems to be affecting Hamilton just enough as well to put him off from doing that move. Saying no hard tires left for Mercedes, no fresh hard tires left for Mercedes. I wonder if they can use a scrub pair or something like that if they plan to do that. And Red Bull have no fresh soft tires. So if we're putting fresh tires on during the next pit stop, then you would assume that Mercedes will be going to soft and Red Bull will be going to hard. As you would expect, should be much faster than hard. However, Mercedes have had a real issue this weekend switching on the soft tires. So that will be something to consider. Also, Merc will probably have to pit again if they're putting on soft tires. I'm not sure they will be able to bring that true to the end. And there's Perez. He gets the move done on Norris. So Perez is now up into 4th place, but quite a gap to his teammate. Here's Tsunoda in 15th, getting past George Russell. Tsunoda is up to 15th, and Russell is now in 16th place. Stroll is up to 14th. So good progress from Lance Stroll. His teammate Vettel is still in 10th and 2 seconds behind Gasly in 9th. Yeah, there must be some kind of a drop off going there on the soft tires, as we've seen Norris gets picked by Perez. So possibly we're coming up very soon now to the pit stops for the soft tires. And what's going on here? So this is the Alfa Romeo. That's Giovinazzi with Alonso behind him. And look at all those solar panels. I think this entire circuit is powered by solar power, which is great. Right on the coast of Portugal, of course, lots of sun there. Now, Hamilton, it doesn't look extremely close to Bottas this time around to the start-finish straight. Let's see, he does have DRS, but I don't think he's going to get a move done here. No move this time. But at this very point of the track now, you can see how incredibly close Hamilton is to Bottas. I'm just not convinced there is an overtaking opportunity here. Here we are in second DRS zone. DRS is opened. it's just not long enough, that back straight, to get the move done. Unfortunately for Hamilton, but we don't want DRS to be a slam dunk constantly. We need to see some driving here. Verstappen, he's just under 2 seconds behind Hamilton now, so he is staying in touch, but he's not a part of this battle right now. I really think this is going to come down to the tire strategy later on in the race, and if we're speaking about tire strategy, was very strong on the tires, so I fully expect Perez to go onto the hard tire and bring it to the end when he does make his pit stop. Perez is 8 seconds now behind Verstappen. Let's keep an eye on that one, and he has 2.5 seconds. He's kind of in no man's land right now, but 4th place isn't the worst position in the world to be. Come start finish again. Bottas pushing on. Hamilton didn't appear to open his DRS there at all, that I saw. And I was checking the clock to see, has he lost DRS? He looked a bit too close to be out of DRS zone, but he was definitely in DRS zone. Ricciardo is past Vettel and into 10th place. That was a DRS move on the main straight as well. Ricciardo up into 10th place now, into the points, so a gain of 6 places from his starting position. Bottas looking a little more comfortable this time around. It's 8, 9, 10, so there's still DRS in factor here, but as we've seen, that just isn't enough for Hamilton. Looking at the helicopter shot, though, he does look very close here. Not close enough. Verstappen now is about 1.5 seconds behind Hamilton, so he's closed the gap slightly, ever so slightly. He does, yeah. He looks on screen. He looks closer as well. 1/10 of a second faster, according to the graphic on the screen. We're in this point of the circuit where it looks like Hamilton is so much closer to Bottas. Well, Bottas isn't panicking because, of course, it's very hard to pull off a move here. Hamilton now is really close to Bottas here. I've said this before. He just doesn't seem to be able to maintain this distance as they make it onto the home straight. If he was able to have this gap on the home straight, then it could be a different story with DRS. Hamilton would certainly power into 1st place. Pit is going to be very interesting here when they pit, because we'll see if both Mercs run on the same strategy, and if so, who pits first. You have to assume that Bottas is pitting first because he's in the lead. Well, he's in the lead at the moment. Here we go, DRS. Hamilton definitely has DRS open this time. He looks very close here. Oh, he's pulling the move around the outside. He's got him. He has got him. Bottas very firmly took the inside line. Hamilton went around the outside. Martin Brundle didn't think that was on there, and I completely agree. I was not convinced there was a move on there for Hamilton. That was awesome. That was really, really good. He made that one stick. Really good move there from Hamilton. And he runs it around the outside, and he just about keeps the right-hand tires on the track as well. So it wasn't even like the move that Verstappen put in the race where Verstappen ran wide. That was... Oh. That was a great move. Bottas must be shell-shocked now, and Verstappen can smell blood. He's right up onto the back of Bottas now. He needs to get past Bottas. This is not good for his championship to have Bottas in between himself and Hamilton. At least when Hamilton was in second, it kind of looked like Verstappen was just, he was keeping close-ish to Hamilton. It never went more than 2 seconds in between them. He was keeping enough of a gap where he wasn't wearing his tires. Bottas. So he doesn't have the pace to maintain his lead in the race. Hamilton is now leading. There we go. Update that. Oh God, Lewis Hamilton is on the radio saying his tires are shot. How many millions and trillions of times have we heard that before? It actually means that he's just coming into a good patch now on his tires. That's how I translate that. Lovely shot coming over the hill there. Verstappen now, he needs to get this move done on Bottas. Otherwise, Hamilton is going to pull away. 1.1 seconds between Hamilton and Bottas. So not a huge gap by any means just yet. But you don't know what happens. Verstappen will want to stay in touch. Okay, let's see if Verstappen has DRS here. He will definitely have DRS here. I just don't think he's close enough to pull off a move. No, he was shaping up for it, but, kind of similar to what he did to Bottas previously when Verstappen was in second and Bottas was in first. Now, unfortunately, it's Verstappen in third and Bottas in second. And we have one of the Ferraris coming in here. It's Sainz, of course, started on the soft tire, so that makes sense that they're coming in early on for a stop. Okay, all looks good. Didn't see what tires he put on there, actually. The yellow tires. So those would be the mediums. Medium tires, please. 22 laps gone, so that means we are 1/3 of the way through the race. And that's a really nice indicator. So the soft tires lasted for 1/3 of the distance, of course, with the heaviest fuel load running on them as well. So if Merck pit halfway through soft tires, will they be able to bring them to the end? They'll be under pressure. Here's Verstappen now. DRS open. Yeah, he's just not close enough to Bottas again. But that means nothing. As we've clearly seen, it means absolutely nothing. I didn't even think Hamilton was going to pull the move on Bottas until he had done the move. It just seemed so ludicrous that he would be able to do that around the outside top. That was the move of the race by far. Verstappen's move on Hamilton earlier in the race was good, but this was better. Let me see. Norris came into pit and is into pit as well. Vettel and Giovinazzi are in as well, according to the timing screen. So where is Norris out now? He's out just ahead of Sainz. Sainz got the undercut on him there. Great Sainz. He has the fresher tires now. So they're both on the mediums. Actually, looking at this, Sainz will try to pull the move here using DRS. Yeah, so his tires are more acclimatized at this point in time. So Norris, he needs to get some heat into these tires. I think he's in trouble when we come around for the start finish if he can put some of a gap between himself and Sainz. So the undercut has worked really, really well here for Sainz. And this should be an overtake for Sainz when we come to the start finish straight. We're staying with this battle, thankfully. Verstappen still very close to Bottas as well. No moves coming up just yet. Looks like Bottas has pulled away just a little bit as we're coming around for the start finish straight. Braking is interesting. It looked like Bottas took a different line there from Verstappen. Of course, this is the nose cam we're seeing from Verstappen, so it could be a little bit a little bit of a different interpretation. Now we're on a start-finish. Oh, lots of moves there from Norris. I don't think you're allowed to do that. He definitely made more than one move under pressure there. Reassuring radio call there to Max. Oh, poor Hamilton. There's a lot of wear on the tires today. Well, I will leave you, Lewis, when you're under pressure from your teammate or you're under pressure from Verstappen and you just can't stay ahead of them. But at the moment, I'm seeing the evidence that you're more afflicted than anybody else. Not meaning to be so critical of Hamilton there, but it's just the tires. It's just a pet hate of mine. He's constantly complaining about tires, and also, whenever he easily wins a race, he always tells us in the interview afterwards about how difficult that was and they were under so much pressure. That's my other pet hate. So as long as he doesn't fulfill any of those, I am fine, and I'm happy to watch fantastic overtaking maneuvers like he pulled off on Valtteri Bottas a couple of laps ago. The more the merrier, but just don't be complaining about your tires and don't tell us about what a hard time you're having out there when you clearly weren't. Although I think in this race it was a little bit more difficult than normal. Of course, it isn't the Mercedes 2 anymore, with Red Bull now being a part of the battle. Here's Verstappen team radio. Yeah, didn't hear that. Didn't hear it. No idea what they said. Here we go, onto the straight. He looks very close to Bottas here. Will he be able to pull a move? I don't know. Bottas must be saving his power button for this straight. Yeah, he had the DRS open, but wasn't closing in on Bottas at all. It looks like Leclerc will be coming in for his pit stop now. We see the mechanics out of the pit, and here is Leclerc. Leclerc. Now, if we saw the effect of the Sainz undercut, and it brought him so close to Norris, so I'm expecting Leclerc will drop dramatically behind his teammate now because of this. He was already behind his teammate to start with. He's going onto the hard tires. Hard tires for Leclerc. So Leclerc running to the end of the race, maybe? Possibly. We saw that the soft tires, so Leclerc, of course, was on the soft tires. So the soft tires lasted anywhere between 22 and 26 laps with full fuel load. So later on in the race, if Merck pit for softs around halfway point, I'm still not convinced they'll be able to bring that. Ocon and Russell battling there, 11th and 12th. So I assume Russell has his pit yet. Hamilton has set the fastest lap on these dodgy tires that he has. Oh, boo-hoo. Yeah, Verstappen is still keeping in touch here with Bottas, but I just didn't see anything on the last time around that would suggest that Verstappen is able to get any closer to Bottas at the moment. So it'll probably be the pit stop where he's going to try and pull this off. But, I didn't think Hamilton was overtaking Bottas when he did either. So maybe I'm just constantly wrong on this, and we'll see around for the start-finish straight. There doesn't appear to be many other overtaking spots on this circuit at the moment. I certainly haven't seen any so far today, apart from the start-finish straight. So that's kind of boring, but still very intrigued in this race. Very intrigued. So we're at last getting a dry race where we get to see the Red Bulls and the Mercs go head to head and see what they're made of. So far, it is advantage to Mercedes. Of course, they started 1-2 and they're currently 1-2, but they've switched around. It's now Hamilton on board here with Vettel, and he is getting past Russell. So Russell is falling down the order. Russell pit stop yet either. So he will be in trouble from Giovinazzi when he does pit. Let me see where we are. Leclerc's in 10th, and we have his teammate Sainz in 9th, and the timing screen has disappeared off my screen. I'll continue that thought after we see. That was a nice move actually from Vettel on Russell. Norris is in 8th. Stroll is in 7th. Stroll hasn't pitted yet. He's still on the soft tires. Ricciardo is in 5th. He hasn't pitted yet either. None of the medium runners, it looks like, have pitted yet. Of course, there are some cars on mediums like Norris and Sainz who did pit, but put on medium from soft. Giovinazzi is also on the hard tire. I suppose we're getting close enough to halfway point now. We're on lap 29 out of 66. So we're getting close to halfway point, and the medium tire runners haven't pitted yet. So to me, it says if you go onto the hard tire, you should certainly be able to make the end of the race. Soft tire still could be on the fence about that one, but we can see Stroll. Yeah, Lance Stroll is still 7th place, and he started on the soft tire, so he's still on that. So it's possible to do a longer stint. Verstappen having an issue with his third gear. Well, that's not what we want to hear, because if Verstappen stops, then we're down to the classic Mercedes battle for the win, and we all know how that goes. Now Hamilton is 3 seconds ahead of Bottas, so this is now hurting Verstappen. Hamilton has found a bit of speed on these tires that have been hampering him so much. Verstappen trying, yeah, he's just not getting close enough to Bottas there to get past. So Hamilton's tires are 33 laps old, but we're on lap 30, so obviously they include formation laps and maybe qualifying laps from Q2, I'm not sure. Yeah, this is not looking good for Verstappen any longer. He needs to get past Bottas, because Hamilton is now just getting away slowly but surely. The undercut, though, it looks powerful in this race. And if you consider that Verstappen will be changing onto hard tires and will most likely be able to make it to the end of the race, then maybe the undercut is what he needs to do here. He'll definitely get past Bottas if he does the undercut. Will he get past Hamilton? 3.8 seconds. He may not. I would guess he probably won't have enough to do that. Russell overtakes his teammate Latifi, so Russell has been in for his pit stop, that suggests. Mazepin is in 17th place. He hasn't pitted yet. Tsunoda is in 16th. Not sure what's happening with Tsunoda today. And Mick Schumacher is in 15th place. He hasn't pitted either. Giovinazzi has pitted. Was that Latifi getting past Russell? Perhaps. It looks like Russell is in It looks like Russell is in last place. Yeah, Hamilton is pulling away now. He has 4 seconds between himself and Bottas. This is getting worse by the lap for Verstappen. He really, really needs to get past Bottas here, or he needs to pit and try to undercut Bottas. None of the medium tire cars, though, have pitted just yet. So we're on lap 32 now. Not quite at halfway point. Getting there. Looking to go long here, Checo. Okay, so Perez is on the long game. Verstappen, once again, he's not as close to Bottas here as he needs to be. Alonso's up into sixth place. I didn't notice that. Alonso must not have pitted yet either, or else he's been making great progress that we've all completely missed out on. We're going down the start-finish straight again. Verstappen hasn't opened DRS this time around, so he was just outside. He was 1.002 seconds. He just missed it. On board here with Ocon, and he is now behind Gasly. Gasly's in 11th. Lovely shade of blue on that car, I must say. That looks really nice in that camera angle. DRS active for Ocon. Can he pull off the move here? Oh, he got very close, but not close enough. AlphaTauri, not as fast as I had expected. Where is Ricciardo? Ricciardo's in 5th at the moment. He still hasn't pitted either. So I think it's Ricciardo and Alonso both haven't pitted yet. So they're the guys doing really well as a result of everyone else having pitted. But they started on the medium tires, of course. So that puts them in line with the strategy that the leaders are using. Ocon is past Gasly this time. He makes that stick around the outside. Ooh, Gasly runs off the track there. That is not what you want to be doing if you're trying to get back a position. So a little bit of a gap already for Ocon. So he's through. He's into 11th. And he has then Leclerc, who's in 10th ahead of him. But it looks like there's a good bit of a gap to Leclerc at the moment. Leclerc very close to his teammate now at the moment as well. Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc, that is going to be quite a battle for this season. Look forward to that. And it looks like they will be racing head against each other later on in this race. There is there's 1.5 seconds between them at the moment. I think they're on the same strategy. I feel like one of the Ferraris pitted onto a hard tire, though, so possibly not quite on the same strategy. Bottas now has over a second advantage over Verstappen, so that is bye-bye to DRS. I wonder if Verstappen's tires are going away or if he's just giving the car a breather from that dirty air coming on arc. Verstappen's in the pits. Here we go. Now, hard tires, I assume. I'm fully expecting hard tires here, so I'm going to be very surprised if it's anything. But yes, it is hard tires. So Max is going to the end. Lap 36 of 66. This is beyond halfway point. Now he's getting the wake up call. Verstappen is in the pits. Go, go, go. Faster, faster, faster. We do not want the undercut here. Bottas really doesn't want the undercut. Hamilton doesn't want the undercut. It's bad news for Hamilton if Verstappen can get past Bottas because that frees him up to chase. But he means the limit from the line. He's going as fast as he can right up to that point. Uh, yeah, on there from Verstappen. So he's out now on the hard tires. He's slotted back in fourth place. 6 seconds now between himself and Perez. Perez is going long, so Perez hasn't pitted just yet. But he's on a different strategy from Verstappen, so I wouldn't get too worried about that. But what we will see is that when Hamilton and Bottas pit, Perez will possibly be in the lead of the race for a short period of time at least. Bottas is in the pits. Now, where's he going to come back out on the track? Verstappen coming around now. So Verstappen's around the last corner. He's on the start finish straight. It's so slow coming down the pit lane from Bottas as well. Here comes Verstappen. I think Bottas is going to be ahead. Bottas is ahead. Oh, that is a shame for Verstappen. Verstappen is now, of course, he has the warmer tires. He's all, oh, Bottas says he's lost traction there and he's just slipped power slide almost across the track. And here's Verstappen pulling the move now. He has the inside line. He's going to get this. And he is true into third place. Oh, that was very opportune. So Bottas loses it on the cold top and slips, loses it. Hamilton is going to be coming in here now. They're out. They're waiting for him. Yeah, he's in the pits. Hamilton is in the pits now. Let's see if they can do a clean pit stop here for Hamilton. Now Perez is coming around to take the lead. But yeah, Hamilton, that's a nice stop, 2.5 seconds. There shouldn't be any issue here. That's Perez. I was wondering how Verstappen was so close there. Yeah, Hamilton has a good gear on Verstappen. Oh yeah, look at that. It must be it's 5 seconds. Five seconds at the moment. Yeah, Hamilton low moment. But of course he has to get some heat into those tires now. So Verstappen, this is Verstappen. Hamilton is on the hard tire. Bottas is also on the hard tire. So this is interesting. We were led to believe that Merck had no hard tires left. So these must be a scrubbed set of tires. Sure, Leclerc has overtaken his teammate. DRS move. Yeah, well, there wasn't a lot of fighting going on there, so he must have been asked to let him through. Yeah, Bottas, he just loses the traction there. The back gets away from him, and you can see even coming up the hill, he's still struggling to get the full grip. Verstappen gets past, and he is pumped about that. So now it's a straight race between Verstappen and Hamilton. Perez is winning. Perez hasn't pitted yet, so he leads at the moment. Ricardo and Alonso still haven't pitted either, so they're in fifth and sixth as we speak. Ricardo 7 seconds behind Bottas. I wouldn't hold my breath for him closing that gap because he's on much older tires. Here we are on board with Perez, the race leader, Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. I did not think I would be saying that last year. Not the race leader part, but the Red Bull part. All right. Bottas just being told by his team they're in trouble if there's a safety car. They're in trouble for Perez, that is. So it is Stroll, Alonso, Ricardo, and Perez. Those are the only cars that haven't pitted yet. Yeah, Raikkonen also hasn't pitted, but it's kind of hard to pit when you don't have a car. So he's out of the race, of course, after an incident with his teammate on the very first lap. And that put out a safety car for a period of time because of the debris on the track. So a nice here. Perez has 12 seconds on Hamilton. Of course, 12 seconds is nothing when you factor in a pit stop that he's going to have to take. That will be, well, that could be anywhere up to 25 seconds, I guess. So he will be net fourth place again when he comes out of the pits, unless there's a safety car. Or even a full course yellow. That full course yellow virtual safety car is what I'm thinking of. That could dramatically change things around in favor of Perez as well. Perez has 27-second gap to Ricardo. So he can, yeah, I think he can still get his pit stop done and come out ahead of Ricardo. But Ricardo would want to be pitting soon himself as well. And we heard the team radio Red Bull. Perez is running long. So actually, I would expect that he will be pitting in around the same time as Ricardo and Alonso. And Stroll has pitted. So Stroll has pitted and he's come back at 14th place. Ocon is catching signs. Ocon has looked in the last two races. He's looked solid in this Alpine car. Now Alpine, it doesn't look as good as last year's Renault, but he has certainly looked a lot more solid than Alonso. Okay, I'm ignoring the fact Alonso's in sixth. Well, Alonso's in the pit as we speak, but Ocon has certainly looked more steady in the last two races, and qualifying, he's out-qualified his teammate in the last two races as well. So here's Hamilton into the pit. Nice view of that an attractive car, that Alpine. Quite attractive, I must say. So, yeah, there's his teammate goes through, and now he's all over the back of Carlos Sainz. So I think the next time around, he will actually be trying to pull a move off there, DRS assisted, of course. Alonso comes back out in 11th place, and he is 4 seconds about, just under 4 seconds ahead of Vettel. Two world champions, just out of the points at the moment. Fastest lap from Hamilton yet again. 11 seconds now. Here's the interval to Perez. Finally, Ricardo is into the pits. It looks like Norris will take back 5th place then from Ricardo. Yeah, There goes Norris through. He is in fifth. Ricciardo's going to lose. He'll probably come out just behind Gasly, I guess. Yeah, he's just behind Gasly, but he's very close to Gasly. Of course, he needs to get those tires up to temperature before he starts trying to pull a move. Yeah, Gasly has pulled away from him already, so taking advantage of the warmer rubber. Ricciardo's stop was 4.8 seconds. That's not good for him. Good. Another fastest lap from Hamilton. So he's cut the gap to 10 seconds now with Perez. So, fastest lap here coming in from Bottas. Both of the Mercs are flying at the moment. Bottas is 3 seconds now behind Verstappen. Perez still has to do his stop. Here we go now. Can Ocon get the move done on Sainz? No, not this time. Sainz positions himself very carefully right in the center of the track as they go into the first corner there, and it doesn't work for Ocon. I don't think he was quite close enough to get that move done. Fastest lap again from Hamilton. So himself and Bottas are now having they're trading fastest laps. There we go. So Bottas had a hurry up from Toto, telling him to get after Verstappen. And yeah, the Mercs look much stronger actually on these hard tires at the moment. They're really fast. And here's Ocon trying around the outside on Sainz. Yeah, he's got it done. Another really nice move. Actually, I think that move was slightly nicer, ever so slightly nicer than the one. No, Hamilton's move on Bottas was still nicer than that. Alrighty, so that is Ocon into 7th place. So very good race from him, and he's now 3 seconds behind Leclerc. So this would be great for Alpine if they could finish ahead of both of the Ferraris. It would be a real statement for them from this race. Turn 8 is where Max needs to get the speed. Perez is still out there. Mick Schumacher is 4/10 of a second behind Latifi at the moment. He may be plan A plus 10 for Perez. Plan A plus 10. I think they're going to get Perez back out on soft tires here at the end of the race. That seems to be what they're building up to. Well, color me interested. That will be certainly very interesting to see. Hamilton now is only 6 seconds behind Perez. Oh my goodness, Mazepin closed the door on Perez there. So blue flags do not exist in the world of Nikita Mazepin. He, oh, on Perez, that will hurt his tires as well. He really had to brake very hard to get out of that. That is really bad from Mazepin. You can't do that. He nearly took the race leader out there. Can't do that. Oh, Bottas is back on the fastest lap again, and he's also set a fastest first sector again, so he's flying it now. How close is he to Verstappen? Yeah, you can see him there in the background. 1.5 seconds, maybe. As soon as the timing comes up on the screen, I can double check that. Two seconds. 2 seconds difference now between Verstappen and there are about 4 seconds between Verstappen and Hamilton. 4 seconds also between Hamilton and Perez. So I think Hamilton is going to take Perez on the track here. "48 laps into this race then. Perez is leading for the time being, but he hasn't pitted yet. Another fastest lap for Lewis Hamilton. He's cutting that gap down just over 4 seconds now. Verstappen then, yeah, you can see Bottas has closed the gap onto Verstappen. Bottas is having a good race, I must say. Yeah, he likely once he came out of the pits on the colder tires, but I think that would have happened to anybody in those circumstances. That was somewhat out of his control, and he did manage to keep control of the car, which is the main thing. So we can't be critical with him for that. And it looks like he is going to try and rectify that mistake on the track as well. Almost 50 laps in now, and Perez is still going on this set of medium tires that he started on. So this is a really good stint from him. Obviously, he doesn't have the speed, but I would say his speed hasn't dropped dramatically because of this. Schumacher never did get past Latifi. Under investigation, Nikita Mazepin and Sergio Perez. Well, that's not a surprise, and I would guess there will be some kind of penalty in that for Nikita Mazepin. Ricardo, nice move there on Gasly. So he's up to ninth. Let's see. So he's in ninth, and Norris is. Nikita Mazepin and Sergio Perez are under investigation again. Okay, well, that is clearly the same message, just given to us twice. Oh my God, Hamilton is complaining about his tires again, so you know he's just about to hit a purple patch. Paul di Resta suggesting that perhaps they will try. Red Bull will try to get fastest lap with Perez by putting him on soft tires towards the end. And I've been speculating that I think he will be going onto the soft tires, considering how long he's staying out. It'll have to be a scrub set because they don't have a fresh set of soft tires at Red Bull. But very strategic. That then takes away fastest lap from Hamilton, Mercedes, basically, in the battle for the world title. So it's damage limitation somewhat for Verstappen if this happens. I wonder though if Bottas will be able to do something similar. No, I don't think so. I think Bottas is actually the plan for Bottas here will be to try and take Verstappen on the track. 1.6 seconds now between them. This is very, very close. Here goes Hamilton on Perez, and that's a very easy move for him. Hamilton is back in the lead of the race. There we have Hamilton, race leader again. All righty. He, by the way, has 4 seconds now, it looks like, between himself and Verstappen. So Verstappen would be the next. Hamilton couldn't believe that he had to overtake Perez and was asking for a blue flag. Alrighty, that's Hamilton back into the lead now. What's happening here? Ricardo and Alonso. Alonso is true around the outside. A nice move, a nice clean move there for Alonso. Both cars decided early on which line they were taking. Perez has been called into the pits. It's somewhat disconcerting to see the under investigation sign next to Perez's name on the timing screen because, of course, Perez did nothing wrong whatsoever. Here he is in the pits now. Let's see if he can get a clean pit stop. So I'm fully expecting he will come out here in 4th place. He's in 4th at the moment. Will probably emerge in 4th place. He had a comfortable enough gap back to Norris, as far as I can see. 2.6 seconds. Mazepin has gotten a 5-second time penalty for that. Okay, I think he's gotten away a little bit light there. He potentially could have taken the race leader out of the race with that move. 5-second penalty. That's lucky. Is it not going to make any difference whatsoever? All right, Perez has his orders then for the fastest lap. And he has 13 laps to manage to get that fastest lap. So I think plenty of time. Yeah, he'll have to be careful not to use up those tires, though, by the end. And Perez now has a gap of 10 seconds back to Norris. Unfortunately for Vettel, he's now running in 12th place, which about 5 seconds up the road. Then is Gasly. So unless something dramatic happens here, I don't think Vettel is going to finish in the points. His teammate Stroll is in 14th, so 2 places further behind. So it hasn't been a good race again for the Aston Martins. There was a little bit of promise that we saw in free practice and in qualifying, but it's not translating through to the race, unfortunately. So yeah, that team is really struggling this year. Also, very disappointing race here, I would say, where he qualified, and considering where he was running in the last race when he caused that accident with Bottas, he's currently now in 16th place, which would be fourth last place, so only his teammate behind him, and then the two Haas cars. So really, no, not a good race at all for Russell. Whatever is happening there, possibly just they don't have the race set up and they have the qualifying set up, and it just suits them better. Gasly, it looks like Gasly is closing in on Ricardo. So this is red alert for Ricardo because this is for the final point position in the race, and none of these cars are going to be pitting again, from what I can see. Verstappen pulling away from Bottas a little bit. Not getting too much closer to Hamilton at the same time. In saying that, it's tenths of seconds. Oh wow, look at this. They're showing us the battle at the back. Latifi and Schumacher. This would be huge for Haas if they can get one car ahead of the Williams, because I think it's very, very clear that Haas is the slowest car this season. And of course they have no intention. Oh, Bottas is losing power. Is this real or a false alarm? Now Schumacher has DRS open. He's not getting close enough to Latifi here, so that's not going to work. Just keep an eye on the lap times now from Bottas. He's dropped to 5 seconds now behind Verstappen. I don't think there's a major issue there. Let's see. Okay, now we're on board with definitely not Yuki Tsunoda, yeah, here. Bottas. Let's gone to the track just in front of him. I think that was okay. I don't think there should be any trouble for Tsunoda on that one. Now we're on board with Bottas again. Yeah, it doesn't look like there are any issues there with power right now. He is 22 seconds over Perez as well. Fastest lap for Perez. Perez has the fastest lap. 120.643. Okay. How will Hamilton react to that? There's Giovinazzi. Oh, wow, now he's going to make Vettel's day even worse if he manages to put this off. Yeah, I think he's going to get him here. He does. Nice clean move once again around the first corner, not final corner, I should say, the first corner on the start finish straight. Very clean move. And that's Giovinazzi up into 12th. So Vettel is now down into 13th place. And his teammate then is a second behind him. So Vettel's day could get even worse. You haven't heard Vettel on the radio at all. He's usually, he usually gives us a very good bird's eye view or opinion of what he thinks is going on during the race. We haven't heard any of that so far today. Yeah, Schumacher on the DRS again to try and get past Latifi, but it doesn't work. And now we have Alonso pressuring Sainz. Two Spaniards battling it out on track. 5.3 seconds now between Hamilton and Verstappen, so that gap isn't coming down. And in fact, I would say the gap between Bottas and Verstappen is coming down ever so slightly. It's just anywhere in around 5 seconds now as well. So, unfortunately, unless there's any action towards the end of this race with safety cars and failures and everything else, I think we're kind of done. It's going to be Hamilton 1, Verstappen 2, Bottas 3. I can't see anything else happening right now with 8 laps to go. But stranger things, of course, have happened, and it's not over until it's over. And even then, it isn't over sometimes, as we've seen with Raikkonen in the last race. Yeah, Schumacher can't get the move done. Oh, Alonso has pulled it off. He's true on Sainz. Schumacher, though, can't get past Latifi. Still trying, is very, very close to him there. We have the privilege of seeing this because they're back markers now to Alonso. Schumacher actually trying to pull off an overtaking move on another part of the circuit apart from the start-finish straight, which is highly unusual for this circuit today. Now he's really close to him, so it just looks like the Mercedes engine is so much stronger down the start-finish straight. That's probably not the place he's going to get this move done. He has to look for alternatives. There's Alonso coming through. And Sainz. So that's that battle done with for now. But Latifi will also have to slow down to let those cars through. Bottas is still concerned about being slow on the straight. I don't think he has anything to worry about, to be honest. I would say that unless things start to get a little bit worse, I think Bottas is pretty safe till the end. 25-second gap as well back to Perez. So I think he can, if he is having minor issues, he can still try to bring this home. Oh, Lance Stroll has gotten past Vettel. Oh, he's going to be in a bad mood after this race, that's for sure. That's not good. He started in a much better position than his teammate as well, but that alternative pit strategy worked much better for Stroll than the one that Vettel decided to take. Sonoda, he's 22 seconds behind Vettel now, so I don't think he's going to be a concern for Vettel, but as I always say, you never know. Very unlikely unless there's some kind of issues going on there. Bottas again. Ooh. All right, they're telling Bottas to push harder so that he can get a free pit stop and then go for the fastest lap. So it's on here. This is the real constructors' battle now for this fastest lap. At the moment, Perez has it, and he was told to go for that. Perez was that was the team plan. Perez is going to take the fastest lap away from the Mercedes. At least they can't get that over Verstappen and Red Bull in the championship. Schumacher he can't make any ground on Latifi at all here down the start finish straight. It's just not working. So that Mercedes engine is just too powerful. So that's why he's trying alternative moves here in the back of the circuit, the infield, and actually some of the moves he's been pulling up look like they could potentially move. But it also looks like they could potentially end in a crash, which Perez is going for another fastest lap. Yeah, if Schumacher isn't able to pull off this move on Latifi and they do crash, of course, that's another repair bill for Haas, so they won't want that. Yeah, regardless of the fact they're getting no points. But these are major bragging rights here if they can at least get ahead of one of the Williams drivers. Russell is 35. Let me see. He's 20 seconds up the road from Schumacher, so he's not going to be a factor at all. But if they can get one of the Williams, fantastic going for them. Fantastic. Schumacher has done it. He's gotten past Latifi. Yeah. Great for Haas to get one over on Williams here. Was Latifi seemed to run a little bit wide there. Yeah, Latifi locked up, and that's what allowed Schumacher through. Ricardo now, he's got less than nothing to Sainz. That is not a pretty sight when you see your ex-team overtake you. He hasn't overtaken him yet, though, so it's not a foregone conclusion. Bottas is into the pits. Well, he's not in yet, but he's been called. No, he is in now. He's in the pits. All right, so let's see where he comes back out. 2.7 second stop. That's fine. Let's see where he comes back out relative to Perez. I think he's pretty safe. And can he do the fastest lap? I have a horrible feeling for Red Bull that he can do the fastest lap. Verstappen now has the gap down to 4 seconds to Hamilton, but there are really only 2 laps left, so it's not of much consequence. Here's Ricardo now. He's really close to Sainz this time. He's got him, yeah. Clean move, straight through, no issues whatsoever. Done and dusted. And here is Verstappen. Verstappen is in for a pit stop because, of course, he has a free pit stop over Bottas. Yeah, red tires. So that's the soft tire. So he's going to go for the fastest lap. So it's on. We're having a fastest lap shootout at the very end of the race here. And it will be the very final lap actually for Verstappen where he tries this. This is risky though, because of course if he loses the car and goes off, he is going to lose a lot more than 1 point in doing this. Goes to show you how much trust they have in Perez. I think one of the biggest factors for Perez, of course, is the fact that he had all those laps to complete on the soft tires as well. He has to bring the car home as well, so you can't take everything out of the tires by going hell for leather on it. Wow. Okay. I was trying to calculate there. By my calculations, it would be the final lap by the time Hamilton came in to change his tires, and so he wouldn't get an opportunity at fastest lap. So that is fine. But he now knows he has a huge gap back to Verstappen. Bottas is 4 seconds off of Verstappen as well. Bottas has the fastest sector 2 at the moment. Gasly has gone past Sainz, so the afternoon has turned not so nice for Carlos Sainz. Yeah, that is bad for Sainz. Ferrari have gotten that strategy very. Bottas has the fastest lap. There we go. So he has the fastest sector 2 and sector 3. Fastest lap with Bottas. What can Verstappen do now? Seeing no sign here at all that Verstappen is doing. Oh, he has the fastest first sector. Here's Hamilton coming over straight. He's won. Hamilton wins the race. Here's Max Verstappen. Can he do the fastest lap? Pushing. He's got the fastest lap. What can Bottas do, though? Here comes Bottas. Verstappen has it. Verstappen has the fastest lap. Supreme. Great. Checkered flag. Hamilton has won the race. That was quite a strong weekend for Hamilton, I must say. Fully deserved the race win there. And so there's our final classification. Hamilton wins. Verstappen is second, and Bottas is in third place. So they're investigating the fastest lap for Verstappen for exceeding track limits. That is not good news for Verstappen. Let's find out if there's anything in that at all. So far, we're hearing that Verstappen has the fastest lap, and I certainly hope he does because he needs it for the championship. He really needs it. It looks like it's confirmed that Verstappen has the fastest lap, so that's great news. He gets the extra point for that. We have, by the way, next weekend the Spanish Grand Prix from Barcelona, so that's coming up. And I believe on Saturday we also have Formula E from Monaco, where they're using the full Formula One track layout with one minor change to one of the chicanes, as far as I'm aware. But a busy weekend of motorsport next weekend. I'm not sure, actually, if Formula 2 are back racing next weekend. That would be good. Possibly too much racing to watch next weekend. I hope there's no IndyCar or MotoGP next weekend, or I am never going to get off the screen next weekend. Oh, I'm going to have racing fatigue. Hamilton wins. His 97th race win. 97. Of course, he has 99 pole positions as well. Amazing record. Highly consistent win versus pole record as well. Of course, a lot of that is down to the car, but Hamilton is and has always been a very fast driver. So well done to Lewis Hamilton on winning this race. There, he gets congratulations from Max Verstappen. That will certainly sting for Max, but he'll be back at the next race, strong and ready to go again. Oh, Max Verstappen's time has been deleted. He was off the track on turn 14. Bottas has the fastest lap, so that's the point back to Mercedes. How disappointing for Red Bull after all of that. This is what we were afraid of. Oh, all right. Well, I'm definitely going to hang around for the interviews just to hear what Verstappen has to say about this, because I'm betting he has not been informed. Bottas, yeah, confirmed on the screen. He has the fastest lap now, and 1 point to Bottas. So that already changes up the World Championship standings somewhat. How is this looking? Yeah, it looks like Gasly is in 10th place in the championship now, just looking at the top 10 of the driver standings. Interviewing Max first. Let's see if they break the news about the fastest lap. So Gasly finishes in 10th place. Ricciardo is 9th. Alonso is 8th. Ocon is 7th. Leclerc is 6th. Ricardo has not Ricardo. The interviewing guy. What's his name? How am I having this this brain fart at this moment in time? Di Resta. Sorry, Di Resta. I knew it was a slightly Italian type of name. So Di Resta broke the news to Verstappen. He was very surprised, and Verstappen has actually said that he didn't think they were checking track limits at turn 14. So maybe there's going to be some kind of appeal behind this. We will wait and see. As it stands at the moment, it's Bottas who has the fastest lap. Sorry, yes, I was running through the top 10. So 7th place is Esteban Ocon. In 6th is Leclerc. 5th is Lando Norris. So very consistent, good result for Norris again. In 4th, we have Perez, of course. Bottas is in 3rd. Verstappen is in 2nd. And Hamilton is in 1st. So it was, all in all, it was a very solid race for all of the top 4. Lewis Hamilton has done very well. He was being supreme for the majority of this weekend. Max Verstappen has been there or thereabouts. He just lost out today and obviously lost out on the fastest lap just at the end. Bottas has had a very solid weekend, of course, pole position and fastest lap, he would appear. At the moment, he appeared to have some kind of car issues at one point in time, but yeah, he got that resolved, something to do with exhaust sensors that caused an issue in the car, but he didn't lose much time because of that. He had a good gap as well to Perez, and of course, he was able to take that free pit stop as a result, and Perez then finishes in 4th, and so Perez slightly compromised his race because he had a different pit strategy. For me, I think the big disappointment is that we're not getting to see Perez battle with Bottas. I don't think he would have had a chance at Bottas this weekend because Bottas was good this weekend, which I'm not used to saying, and especially when he comes 3rd. I'm not used to saying that, but it was a good solid race from him. And Norris best of the rest then in 5th place, so that's a good result for him. And so for the driver standings, then what does that do to the driver standings? Norris is still in 3rd place in the driver standings with Bottas in 4th. Leclerc is actually in 5th at the moment. We have Perez who's 6th. Surely he'll move up the order as the season goes on. Ricciardo now in 7th. We have Sainz in 8th place. Ocon in 9th and Gasly in 10th. And looking down for the rest of the points, we have Lance Stroll also has points here. He has 5 points in total, so he's in 11th. Alonso also on 5 points. He's in 12th, and Yuki Tsunoda has 2 points, and he's in 13th. Another disappointing race, I think, for Yuki Tsunoda again today. Most notable here, Kimi Räikkönen, Giovinazzi, Vettel have no points whatsoever, and Raikkonen was appealing to try and get back his points from the last race, and Vettel not good for him at all. He really needs to find how this car works, and he needs to find out soon. So he's really struggling at the moment. And yeah, looking at the race results today, the other notable thing to point out is that Mick Schumacher finished ahead of Nicholas Latifi, overtook him on circuit after Latifi had a lock-up going into one of the corners. So that's a very nice result for Haas. So they've beaten one of the Williams. A little bit of bragging rights goes with that, obviously. And George Russell was further ahead than in 16th place, and Yuki Tsunoda in 15th. So very, very poor result for Yuki Tsunoda. Sebastian Vettel 13th, Lance Stroll 14th, Aston Martin really struggling. Hopefully they can pull it together very, very soon and get back into the mix like they were last year when they were Racing Point. But I think we'll leave it there for now. Thanks very much to everybody who joined us for this race. Do feel free to leave comments or your thoughts on how you feel this race went if you're watching this a little bit later. And yeah, we thank you very much for your support. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel if you feel inclined to do so. And I'll speak to you again soon. So I'm hoping to be back for the Formula E next. And of course, we have the Spanish Grand Prix on Sunday as well. And I will see if I can do a watch along for that as well. So have a good rest of your afternoon, evening, morning, night, wherever you are in the world. And we'll speak again really, really soon.